welcome to Wilton Town Talks. I'm your host, Hudson Paulson.
And I'm Joey Dugan.
Today we're joined by Mrs. Clem and Mrs. Bilella from the League of Women's Voters. Thank you for joining us.
Our pleasure.
Could you provide the audience a little bit about your positions and what you guys do?
We are the co-presidents of the Wilton League of Women Voters. The Wilton League of Voters is the local affiliate of the state and national League of Women Voters.
So what is your position or your group responsible for?
We do a variety, mostly community outreach programs to enable constituents in Wilton to learn about the candidates who are running for office, talk to them once we've elected them, other issues or changes in election law, anything related to elections, campaigns that are happening in our town.
Right.
And for us, it's very important to activate the young population, so we work a lot with Wilton High School. We have interns from the high school because voter access and getting people to actually embrace that and go out and vote and that right that you have to do it. So that is something that our group does a significant amount of interaction with.
Do you have any opportunities for people either in high school or older to get involved in these activities?
Yes. So we have interns each year. So we usually look for a junior and senior intern to spend the year with us. We get involved in coming to the school to help register those that have reached the age of voting. And we look for outreach in general. And students are free membership to our league, and we encourage them to join our league and be members and to engage us for activities that would support them. We also support Ms. President, and we look to help and cross-pollinate with other groups that engage with young voters.
We've used high school volunteers helping us with candidate events, and we, as well as the different organizations with the parties, all, we're very, very interested in ideas that high school students come to us with about what you'd like to do and ways that we can support you to be politically engaged. We are nonpartisan. And we therefore do not ever advocate for a specific candidate or for a specific party, but obviously the candidates themselves are from both parties, and so we work with them both prior to the elections for stuff like debates and afterwards with community programs.
How do high school students who want to be a part of your organization and volunteer, how would they be able to do that?
Call us. So reach out through the website. Our email is there. We post the internships, the application for the internships, I think it's over the summer, through Naviance. We also have a book award and a senior award that is also has been posted through Naviance.
And I believe Naviance for you guys has changed, right? I think this year they actually use a different system. I don't recall what it is, but I know it's your Naviance equivalent. So when you're juniors, you'll branch into that.
But also just reach out directly.
Yes. We have the internet, we have Instagram.
Right. You both mentioned internships. What do those internships entail for students or anyone in those?
So it's they do different things depending on their interests. So last spring, our two interns collaborated on a day called Voices of Democracy, and it was a really neat day. They both prepared a trove of voter information and opportunities that they had collected that was sort of in a website, and then they also, in the course of the day, they had our first selectman, they had our Secretary of State, they had other municipal leaders come through in the course of the day. It was in the media center, and students met with the different local and state officials and had an opportunity to talk to them and have an opportunity to learn what the different roles were. It was a neat day. The different interns have different interests, just like in anything else, but they always help out with our debates in the fall. Every fall we do, whether it's a local municipal year or a state election year, we do some board debates or candidate events in the fall. They always help with that. This year they're planning to do a civic education program for younger kids in the lower schools. So it depends on what they wish to do, but we pull them into whatever we need.
And they also are incredibly active with social media.
Yeah.
So if we have events, they typically come, take pictures, and then videos, and they'll manage the social media so that they get out.
Are these like events, are they open to like anyone?
Yes, they're open to the public, and they're publicized across all of our social media platforms as well.
How often?
Well, it depends. So we always have our debates in the fall, so that's usually in partnership with the Wilton Library. And that's where those that are running for various offices will come and sit in a panel discussion and have questions. So it'll be a formal debate and the audience can be active. And then in the beginning of the year, we will do, once the elections are done and those officials and those candidates have now been elected into a role, we will do a follow-up, which is our legislative dialogue that usually takes place in January, February timeframe, where it's a follow-up where it allows the community to come in and ask them questions and talk to them about what their priorities are, what committees are they on, what will they be focusing on in the coming term. And then in between, we have various activities that happen throughout the year, depending upon what our focus is, what our partnerships. We do a lot of partnerships with other local organizations and support each other.
So as an example of that, like last year, the election law in Connecticut changed. We had early voting for the first time last year. So we did a program of kind of rolling, this is what early voting is going to look like in Wilton specifically. We are now this year for the first time doing a series of community breakfasts with different municipal leaders. That was hard for high school students to participate because it's during their school day, but any of our programs that we run are open to the full community. Anyone who lives in Wilton or is working in Wilton or in otherwise connected to Wilton. That's what these things look.
It sounds like informing people and community outreach is very important to your group. How do you think that's had an impact on Wilton as a community?
We see ourselves kind of as like working for the town, that our job is to try to create opportunities for constituents in town to know what is happening in election law, in the candidates that are running for elections, in the issues facing the town or within the state. And so, we see ourselves as working for the constituents. That's our mandate.
Yeah, the objective is to support Wilton in its process, and even if we're talking about when we have our annual budget meeting and what will be on the docket for voting. I'm sure you all see that we're in the heat of budget season, so there's a lot going on across the media about what is coming up, what type of capital projects need to be voted on. So that's where we try to support and make sure that there is a level of awareness so that folks understand what is going to be on ballots and what's going to need voting, and to ensure that folks know when and where to do so.
How does it feel to be living in Wilton and then eventually become such vital members of the community and serving the community, as you said?
We hope we're vital, right? I mean, you always hope you're vital. I think Wilton is a fantastic town. I got involved in the league originally because I love this town, and I've lived here with my family for over 20 years, and you want to do your part. You want to do your part in keeping it wonderful and, you know, trying to see what else we can do to make it even more wonderful, and that's the point.
And what initially got you into this as living in Wilton, and then you started joining, or you joined? Like what got you into the League of Women Voters?
You know, when I was younger, I wasn't a joiner, and then I kind of, at a certain point in my life, I'm like, you know what, you gotta join, you gotta join stuff, and so what are you gonna join? So I looked around, and I decided, I did make a conscious decision, I want to join nonpartisan work, not, you know, there are many ways to contribute to society, right? So for me, I did make an explicit choice. I think that the space of nonpartisan work, where we try to put down the party stuff and try to find ways to collaborate, I thought that, for me, that was important.
And I joined, kind of along the same vein. Pam's been on for quite a while. I've been on about 3 years. I joined actually because I felt like, because of the very strong focus on parties, right? So whether it's unaffiliated, Democratic, Republican, was becoming such an overarching focus versus understanding that everyone has a right to vote, and that is an important right to have in our country. And so for me, I actually wanted to join this group because I think focusing on what it means to have a democracy and to have the ability to have a voice is really important, and I don't want people to lose sight of that over political parties. So for me, that was really important. So that's why I joined, because I think it's more important for everyone to understand the matters at hand and to unite and engage and have their voices heard and have their opinions have meaning, and being able to get out and vote for whatever it is that you feel is appropriate.
Anna Marie and I both are members of parties. We're actually members of the opposite parties. But the idea within the league is to, you know, we leave that at the door, and we come in and we're working for democracy, and we're working for the people of Wilton, and we're working for our communities. That's the ideal.
For people like looking to join like the organization, like how can like they expect to like get a better position like within the organization?
It will depend on what you bring. This is true of all volunteer organizations. What you get out is definitely related to what you bring. So, you know, there's a spot for everybody to find useful things to do.
Well, I think what you guys said about a bipartisan group is very important, especially with our country becoming so divided over politics. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to tell the audience?
Nonpartisan, different from bipartisan.
Oh, nonpartisan. I'm sorry.
Nonpartisan. The idea is we really do try to check it.
Yeah.
Check it. Not bring them both in, but put them.
Mhm.
Put them.
My apologies.
No, not at all. This is common discussion. We have a lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think it's just valuable that if folks want to understand and learn more, to reach out.
Yeah.
One of the important aspects of our organization is it's very approachable. It's not so formal that there's wild expectations of an abundance of time, or you have to have certain skill sets. It's really about bringing the community awareness and being able to support our community as it needs it in the area of democracy.
All right. This has been Wilton Town Talks with your host, Hudson Paulson.
And Joey Dugan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.